Best way to score high on your SAT is to learn how to answer questions. Bluebook Practice 7 is a good one to start with. Watch me how to approach this question. Let's dominate this practice test. I'll show you the strategy to answer question in the easy, straightforward way. Some will use Desmos, some algebra. Let's go. First question. Lorenzo purchased a box of cereal and some strawberry at the grocery store. Lorenzo paid $2 for the box of cereal and $1.90 per pound of the strawberry. If Lorenzo paid a total of $9.60, which of the following equation can be used to find P, the number of pounds of strawberry Lorenzo purchased? This is a straightforward question. It's like 5 seconds. Whenever you see per, it tells you it's a gradient. Therefore, the gradient is 1.9. Whatever strawberry is, they give you P. Therefore, I'm looking for 1.9 P. All of them, this C and D is gone. And since you purchased $2 for cereal, this should add up to $2. And the total should be $9.60. This is not subtraction. Therefore, answer 1 is the right answer. This, you look at it and you pick it and you move forward. This is the way I want to approach every question, just using critical thinking to answer the question. The function f is defined by this. What is the value of x when x is equal to 2? I know you're going to put this in Desmos. There's no need. If you put 2 here, this is 50. 50 plus 30 is 80. You don't need Desmos for this. But if you want to use it, that is fine. I'm just showing you strategy to answer question and go through it. This is a straightforward question that does not require time with Desmos. I've shown gives the estimated value in dollars of a tablet as a function of a number of months since it was purchased. What is the best interpretation of the y-intercept of a graph in this context? It looks like it's decreasing in nature. And every time they give you function, you can look at it at 0. Y-intercept always indicate initial value. When it looks like exponential in function, therefore, x is equal to 0, y-intercept. So that's the initial value we're looking for. That's all. So estimated value of the tablet was 225 when it was purchased. And you can see it's right here, like a 225, because it's the initial value. Initial value is when it was purchased, and as you decrease, it does not estimate 24 months. It has nothing to do with 24 months, and it has nothing to change in the year. This is just initial y-intercept. So right there, answer A. Like I said, I'm showing you how to go through these models to master it. Okay. Question 4. This is also straightforward. You want to put in Desmos, is okay. I'm okay with it. But you can see P is absolute value. And this is what? 65 and 61. What would it be? X is going to be 4 because it's asking you for absolute value. But if you want to put in Desmos, that's fine. Let's see what Desmos is going to say. It's going to say the same thing. I'm going to put X function there. And I give you -4 and then +4. We're looking for absolute value. So the function has to be +4 right there. Question 5. The triangle, thus, are congruent to each other. That means the angles, the sides are the same, where EFG correspond to what? JKL, right? This is something that when you hear it, you're telling yourself, okay, I have a triangle like that. They're congruent to each other. E, F, G, and we have K, have J, K, L, congruent to each other, right? Respectively. The measure of E is 45. And the measure of F is what? 20. So here is 20. What is J? Well, if J corresponding to E, well, it's going to be the same function, 45. And that's all. You don't have to overthink it because based on the function they give you, they say E corresponds to J. And therefore, if this is 45, this also has to be 45. As part of the experiment, a ball was launched from a 7 feet tall platform. So based on the diagram they're giving us, this was launched 7 feet tall, right here, 7. The graph shown of y height in feet of x second after it hit the ground during the first part of the experiment. During the second part of the experiment, it was launched what? 2 feet shorter. That means I have to go below 7. That means I'm looking for 5. What should be the graph? Well, this is above 7. This is look like between 4 and 5, between 4 and 6. Therefore, that's the right answer. This is 14. And this is your right answer. You just look at the graph and you pick it and you go. Mastering concept, how to answer questions on the SAT in the very smart way, right? The ratio X and Y is equivalent to the ratio of what? 9 to 5. If the value of X is 162, what is the value of Y? This is also a ratio. Desmos can help you solve it. I'll show you how you can set it up. Like 9/5 is your X and Y, right? And they've given you what is X. You just put it in. If you want to put it in, I would say just regress it, right? So S/Y, and I do my regression is equal to 9/5. And therefore, X is now what? 162. But Y, you got to change it to Y1, and it's going to give you the answer right away. It's 90. Straightforward, right? At a state fair, attendees can win a token that is worth a different point, right? Based on the shape of the structure they're picking. You can win X squared token or C circle token, and the total is like 120. And they've given you that you can win 80X, that is the square, plus 90C, or give you 112. They want to know how many circle token, which is what C, was one more than the square. This is a function. If you get 80 times a certain square plus 90 times a certain circle, will give you that. The difference between them is their coefficient. Therefore, 90 minus 80 is 10. Don't make it too difficult. Just look at a question. If you understand it, it becomes easy. This is the concept I want you to master when you're answering. So this is not a math question. This is just looking at it common sense wise. You know, this is 10. Number 9. A lot of people will put this in Desmos. It's fine. But guess what? Algebra is right there in front of you. You have a function x plus 9 multiplied by x minus 9 all over x plus 9 is equal to 7. Well, this will cancel that. That means x minus 9 is equal to 7. What would it be? X is equal to 7 plus 9. Fine. You can put it in Desmos, but you know this is like straightforward question that does not require time. The equation thus relates to the function TBC, which of the following correctly express the value of C minus B. This is also, like I said, I love these practice tests because it's just like common sense. They're giving you this function, 12t plus b is equal to C. They want you to express C minus B. Well, this goal here, the answer choice is what? 12t. What is x coordinate of the S-intercept of the graph? I mean, this is also one of the headache I always hear students say, hey, Desmos. This is just a free question staring at you. Do you want to type this in Desmos? You may make a mistake. They say x coordinate of the S-intercept. It already simplified for you. So your x coordinate are 14 minus 4 minus 5. Any of these answers will give you the right answer. The function f is defined by this. What is the value of f is equal to 14? This is another one. I know you're going to you grab Desmos. Look at the question carefully. They give you f of 14. The SAT, when they give you questions, they know. They want you to try, and you can see it. They don't want you to just overthink it. If I put x here, 1/4 minus 1/4 is 0. Therefore, all these function is gone. I have 11/4. Just like a second, I look at it, I say, this is my right answer. A circle in the XY plane has this equation. Which of the following gives the center of the circle and its radius? So this one, when they factorize it like that, the center is this point. So the center is going to be 13 and k. Because you equate this to 0, you equate it to 0. The radius, though, is radius square is equal to 64. Therefore, the radius actually is square root of 64, which is going to give you 8. Based on that, you can see that the right answer is what? 13K and 8. A circle has a radius of 2.1. The area of the circle is b pi square inches, where b is constant. What is the value of b? So this is a formula that you already know. You know the circle is pi r squared, the area of the circle, right? And this should be equal to b pi. That means the radius, b is the radius square. That's all. So 2.1 square is our right answer. We can put this in Desmos, and then it will calculate it for us. And that will be like 4.41. During a study, the temperature in degrees Celsius in the chamber was recorded in the nearest integer at a certain time. This scatterplot shows the recorded temperature in Y in Celsius of the air chamber, right? They want to say, what was the average rate of the temperature in Celsius of the recorded of air when it changes from S is equal to 5 to 7? This is basically trying to see if you can read a function on a graph. So this is 5 and this is 7. And you can plot this. We can plot this in Desmos. So we have X and Y. When we have 5 and 7, right? What is 5? I trace it and I get what? 14. When I have 7, I get it 24. So I can plot it in this form easily. So this is what we're going to see. I get in my table and I have 5, 7, 14, and 24. And you plot it. They ask you what was the average rate of the change. The average rate is the gradient. And so the slope is the answer. The slope is 5. And therefore, we're going to pick 5 as our right answer. We're going to write 5. This you have to input in it. But this is the way you do it. Just put it in Desmos and you'll be fine. So the given system of equation is xy. What's the value of 39x? This is okay, good for Desmos system of equation. I'm going to put in 4x plus 17. And the next function, the next equation, minus 3y is equal to 9x minus 23. And this, they will intersect at a certain point. Our x value is 0.45. Our x value is 0.46. So I put 0.46, give you 17.98, and then therefore this has to be 18. So the right answer is positive 18. But you can also solve the algebra. You had the two equations together. You'll be left with 13 minus x. As you can see, you can also solve it algebra. This will be 0. This will be 13x, and this will be 6. X is equal to 6 over 13. And therefore, 13 times 39, this will go here, 3, and you get 18. So either way, you're going to get the same thing. And f of t is equal to that. Given that the number of bacteria in the population is t minutes after initial observation, how much time would it take in minutes for it to double? When I give you exponential function, always remember that when t is equal to 0, that is the initial function, you have 40,000, right? That's very, very important. When t is equal to 0, the whole thing is 0, this will be 1. When would it double? When the actual function t over 790 has to be equal to 1. That's all. Therefore, t has to be 790 for it to be 1. And therefore, this will multiply by that, and your answer is that. Once again, when t is equal to 0, if I put 0 here, the whole of this is equal to 0. And therefore, 2 raised to 0 is 1. 1 times that, we get 40,000. If this has to double, we got to make t is equal to 1, right? And then 2 times 40,000 will be 80,000. The only way we can do that is t over 790 is equal to 1. Therefore, t has to be 790 for the whole function to be 1. And that's how you can answer it. Straightforward. If you simplify, I'm going to send this function there. This will be plus 8 and minus 7. This will be 2 minus 4x. That's the first function. The 16 is here. I'm going to send the 5 back there. So minus 5. This is equal to what? 11. This is your right answer. If you put it in Desmos, you're going to get 11. But there's no need to do that. But if you want to know how to do that, just put the whole function here. It's going to give you answer choice 11. But this is the way to just simplify this function. This is model 1. It's not that difficult. They will give you some easy question as you get harder. I'll show you how to use Desmos. The scientific study in the life cycle of dragonfly counted the number of dragonflies in certain habitat each day for 46 days. On February 15, there are 99 dragonfly in the habitat. The percentage increase in the number of dragonfly in the habitat from January 1st to February 15 was 12.50%. How much dragonfly was in the habitat? This is Desmos. I'll show you how to do that. But remember, they told you that at February 15, okay, there is a what? 12.50% increase, right? But it's coming from the January 1st value. That's all. That's all you need. So I'm going to say to myself, let's put in Desmos. I'm going to say X1 is the initial value in January 1. 12.5% of the January 1 increase means 112.5% of X1. And I'm going to regress it. I still don't know what is X1. That's the January 1. Therefore, I'm going to say it's X2. But I know what February 12 was. So 99. And this is going to give you 88. And the 88 is the right answer. This is how you use Desmos for this particular question. Straightforward. This equation, one solution to the given equation can be written in this form, where K is a constant. What is the value of K? I'll show you something. Whenever the SAT give you this and they give you one solution in this form, it's telling you that you cannot factorize it. That's number one. Two, I know whenever they give me a quadratic equation and there's something under the quadratic function as a portion of the answer choice of what? The solution, that thing is the discriminant. If you look at the quadratic equation, it's b squared minus 4ac. So this value is b squared minus 4ac. That's all. That's the easy ways. Therefore, I have minus 8 squared minus 4, a is 2, minus 7. So this is going to be 8 squared, and this is going to be plus 4 times 2 times 7. And this gives you 120. So the answer choice is 120, straightforward. But remember, this is the actual way to do it. There's another way to do it if you care and you want to see how you can put this in Desmos. So I'll show you how you can put it in Desmos, but you have to know how to read it. So if I put this in Desmos, 2s squared minus 8s minus 7, it gives me this function. But look at it. The answer choice is this is minus 7, 3, and this is 4 or 4.7. Which one should you use? Because this is 8 minus a certain number, that means we're dealing with the smaller function. So our actual answer is negative 7.4. So we're going to use negative 0.74 as our answer. This is going to multiply, or you can just say, hey, Desmos, can you calculate this for me? So negative 7.4, you're regressing and you say 8 minus square root of x, all this function divided by 4. And what is it going to do for you? If you look at it, I'll put x1, and it's going to give you 120.1. And so we get the same answer as 120. So that's how you can use Desmos for this particular question. 21, the function f of x is defined as 90 more than 4 times the normal x. If y is equal to f of x is graphed in the x plane, what is the best interpretation of x-intercept? Well, this is the trap. S-intercept means y is equal to 0. That means f of s should be equal to 0. what do I see? I see when f of s is equal to 0, I don't care whatever function they're going to give me. But this is what it is. It says it's defined by 19 more than 4 times. And you see 19 plus 4 times x, right, is equal to y. That's your function. You see, I can draw it. Y is equal to 4 times plus 19, right? And therefore, the actual intercept, this is 0, is going to be minus 19 over 4. And the f of s is equal to 0. But you don't even need this based on the answers they've given you. You can say that this is it. Like I said, critical thinking, answering questions easily. Don't get trapped with this kind of SAT questions. And the last question in Model 1. This is a identity problem. Which of the following expressions is equivalent? Sine 24, cos 66, cos 24, sine 66. You know, these questions answers sine and cosine add up to what? 90. Therefore, sine 24 is the same thing as sine 66. Sine 66 is the same thing as cos 24. You just opposite. Therefore, I'm going to have cosine square 66 plus cosine square 24. You can also replace it, but I can see that most of the answers are in cosine, cosine. That's why I changed the answers. You can see C is the better answer for all of them. That's the right answer. Now, Model 2. The bar graph summarizes the charges in kilowatt a battery received for each 15 days, total of 15 days. How many of these 15 days did the battery receive a charge of 0? These are the charge, 0. If it's 0, it's going to be 6 right here. So D is the right answer. In a given scatter plot, a line of best fit for the data is shown below. This is what they've given you. Which of the following is the closest to the slope of the graph of best fit? So it's closest, that means you cannot get exact value. So we're just going to plot. We're going to pick something that you can see, you can get it close to the line. If I see 4 here, it looks like it's on 9. So I'll pick 4 and 9. I pick another point that easy to get. I see 2. 2 is almost 2, and this is 5. So I pick 2 and 5, and I plot it, and I get this. So my gradient is 2. I pick my answer. That's the slope right there. In a sample, 80% of the item are 40. This is another Desmos question, right? There are 88, 40 items in the sample. How many total items are in the sample? Think about it. Think about how you're going to set it up. Like the way I did the X1 with the percentage, the same thing. I don't know X, right? I would say X1, right? And 80% of that is defaulted. So this will regress to what is the actual total of that thing. I don't know. I say S2, but I know 80% of that is 88, and I give you 110 right there. Straightforward, right? Question 4, they've given you this graph, right? Different function X and a G of X for the exponential function G. The table shows for the value of 4 of the X and their corresponding G. Which equation define that? There's 2 ways of doing it. You can put at least 2 functions in it and then see if it give you the G of S, right? Or you can just plot it in Desmos and see what it will do. Since it's easy that way. Well, so we're going to put minus 125 and then 0, 1, and 1, 125, and then 2, 162.5. And it said plot it for me. Then I changed this to exponential function. And so this is what it looked like. Now you get to figure out which one is going to match that. So we just have to plot each graph and see if it's going to do the same thing for us. So I would say G of X, okay, what is that? It's minus 25 to the exponent X. And that's going down right here. So that function is different. It's different from our graph. So I'll take that one out. I would say g of x. This is why I like algebra. You got to try all of this, but you can do it algebraically. It's usually should be quicker when you do algebra. So all these function raised to x. And that graph is going different function. We change the whole thing to 25 and it's the opposite direction. And therefore by default, D is our right answer, but we can try it. We can say 1 over 25 or into bracket, say all into bracket raised to the power X, and it line up perfectly to what we have, exactly what is our original function. You don't see our original function. When you take this out, back on. Question 5, if 8x is equal to 6, what is the value of 72x? This does not need Desmos. Because what? 8x and the difference between 72x is 72 over 8, which is equal to what? 9. That's all. 9 times 6 is going to give you what? 54. This is also a little bit of algebra. They want you to express this. H is greater than 0, Q is greater than 0. So you can't say anything like that. Then you know the function. 15 minus 5 is 10. So H is going to have 10 on top of it. And 7 minus 21 is 14. Because it's going to be negative 14, the Q is going to go down. So negative 14. And therefore, this is going to be H raised to 10 and Q 14 because the negative come down and become positive. So A is your right answer. A lot of words. When you see that, just relax. The answer choice will be easy. A company filled boxes with approximately 23 pounds of orange. To test the accuracy of the filling, there's 40 boxes of oranges were selected at random and weighed. Based on the sample, it is estimated that the average weight of all the boxes of orange filled by the tank in 8 hours period is 23.1 pounds with associated margin of error. That's the key. Whenever you see margin of error, you know they're going to give you a range. Which of the following is the best interpretation of that? Therefore, the average is 23.1. Margin of error is plus or minus 0.19. Therefore, we are in a range. This is the answer in a range. So, and therefore, when they give you answer choice, don't pick absolute value. The average weight of all the boxes filled by the tank is less. That's not interpretation of margin of error. Average weight of all the boxes filled by the company is greater. That's not. It's going to be a range. And then you're left with this two. Flexible is good. It's good. But what is the key? Average weight of the boxes filled by this is not less. It's within a range. So A is the right answer. This is another function you'll be tempted to put in Desmos. I'm showing you tricks to go through the exams. It's okay to put in Desmos, but you don't need to. Why? They say find X. It looks complicated, but it's actually easy. They put X here, X here. 1/3 X minus 1/2 of X is what? Ask yourself, what is that? You've seen this before. You can simplify this easily without not needing anything. This is the same thing as what? Minus 1, 6x is equal to minus 8. Therefore, you're going to have what? 48, right? And then you know x plus 6. And therefore, the 6 is going to go subtracted and you get 42. And therefore, 42 is the right answer. Or you can just input in Desmos is okay. And you get this function. And you can see the blue line is right there, 42. And you get your answer. But you got to make sure you type the question input correctly. Otherwise, you get a wrong answer. But 42 is our answer. Question 9 is a good question to teach you algebra and Desmos. They give you f of x, they say s squared plus bx. They give you g of x and they give you that. If f and g are given in the given function and b is a constant, but they told you f of x times g of x will give you this function. What is the value of b? Let me show you how to use Desmos if you want to do that. To use Desmos, input the equation in the system. You're going to have f of s squared plus bx. And now I would say g of x is what? 9s squared minus 27x. Then I'll tell Desmos, look, there's a new function called h of s is equal to what? F of x multiplied by g of x. I don't know what it is, but I know this h of x, x1, if you regress it with this function, I'll be happy. We're going to get the right answer. So regress it, that one with that. And then I have, what is the minus 26 x square raised to 3 minus x square and make this x1 s1. And they give you the function b is equal to 0.0, b is equal to, and it will give you b, which is what? 0.111. You can find the fraction like that. So 0.111 is your right answer. How do you check if it's correct? You can do the algebra. You can see this multiplied by each other. This will be what? 9. If you multiply this time that, you're going to get 9s raised to what? 4. 9 multiplied by this is going to get what? 9s, 9bs to the power 3. Negative 27, you multiply the first one, you get negative 27 s to the power 3. And then you're going to have 27bx. This square, this should be equal to, there's only one b that has what? S squared. You can equate it to that or whichever. I'm going to take 27b s squared should be equal to minus 3 s squared. Right? This cancel like that. That means b is 3 over 27. And that's your right answer. Let's see if it gives you the same answer. So 3 over 27. 3 over 27. And I give you a 0.0, 0.1. So let's check if they give us the same decimal point. 327 give us 0.1111. And that's how you do it. You can see both of them are the same. If you're okay with Desmos, this is the way you go through. You see the steps are a little bit longer. If you're not, then you can use the algebra to solve it. In the SY plane, the S passes through this point. So that's the S point. This S passes through this. And it's parallel to this equation. That means the gradient is still 18. S also passes through this point, 4D, right? What is the value of D? You know, if he passes through this point and he has a gradient of 18, where D minus 0 over 4 minus 0 should give you 18, right? That means D over 4 is equal to 18. And D is 18 times 4. That's all. That's the way to solve this question. And that should give you 72. And so this is, sometimes when you look at this equation, you just panic. You want to grab Desmos, but if you think about a question carefully, you can see that sometimes you don't have to panic. The answer choice is staring at you right there. So 72 is your right answer. This function The function f is defined by the given equation. For what value of x does the f of x reaches minimum value? This is Desmos. Don't even think about it. Thinking about doing anything else. Just put it in Desmos. It's going to help you calculate everything. But just make sure you pick the right function. And then make sure you pan in. So if I look at it, this is the function minimum. You see, if I don't do that, I look like it's 0, but it's not. I pan in a little bit and I see that, oh, this is the point, 45, -1. They're asking you for what value of x. So it's the 45, not the -1. If you pick the other one, it's wrong. So 45 is the right answer. In a triangle XYZ, so this is the triangle. We have X, Y, Z. Y is a right angle. And there's a point P that lay on X and Z. That's the point here. And there's another point Q that lay on Y and Z, such that this is parallel to that. So this is parallel to that. They're saying the angle at Z is 63. So this is 63. What is the measure of the angle XPQ? So do you want to measure this angle, right? I know this has to be 90 degrees because this is parallel to that. And I know this angle is the same as this angle. If this is 63 and this is 90, so you have 63 and this is 90. So this is 153. So that's the first angle, right? If you subtract it from 180, so 153, if you subtract it from 180, you're going to get 27. Therefore, this angle is 27. If this is parallel to that, this angle is also 27. So I have 27, 90, right? This should give you the angle here. Or you can say, hey, this is a straight line, right? If this is 27, this has to be 153. And straightforward, that's the answer choice. So this is why you can use this straight line, 27, and this is 153. So the answer choice is 153. Interesting. I want you to pay attention to that. Question 13. In a set of 4 consecutive odd integers, where the integers are ordered from the least to the greatest, the first integer is represented by x. The product of 12 and the fourth integer is at most 26 less than the sum of the first and the third integers. Which inequality represents that? First of all, you have to know that when he said consecutive integers, usually is x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 4. But whenever they use the word odd or even, you cannot use this. This is the usual one, just consecutive integers. Odd and even does not matter. It means replacing the x. So the x start from x, and then you have x plus 2, x plus 4, x plus 6. Remember that it does not matter whether it's odd or even. You skip 1, so 2, 4, 6. What changes is x, which can be 2, right, for even, or 1 or 3 for odd numbers. That's the only difference. So don't bother whether you get to change it. Now, if it's an odd integers, so like it's the first one is going to be x plus 2. The third one, x plus 4. The fourth one, x plus 6. It does not matter whether it's odd or even. It's the same thing. And they're saying that the product of the product and the fourth integers. So the product 2 and the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. X plus 6. Right, that's the first portion. is at most. That means it cannot be more than. Therefore, it has to be equal to or greater. 26 less. So you got to subtract 26 from it. From the sum of the first and the third. The first is here, and the third is x plus 4. And this is the equation. So when I look at it, I see 4, 4. This is eliminated. I have here. And I say, well, it can't be greater. They say it's less. So I'm going to pick A. And that's how you do this question. Just remember the integers information. Question, they're giving you two systems of equation. And it's a G and K are constant. They said the solution is a finitely many solution. What is G over K? For this one, I like to solve the algebra and confirm with Desmos because you have two constant. You got to take slider. It's easy that way. Clear the fraction from here. Multiply this side by 7 and this by 5. 7 will be 14s. And then this will be 49y. And then this is 10. Clear the function here by 2. And therefore, this is going to be 2gx plus 2ky is equal to 5. Because the system are the same, I got to make this 10. This is also 10, right? Therefore, I got to multiply this by 2. This will be 4gx plus 4ky is equal to 10. Now you have everything look the same. Just equate them. The gx 14 should be equal to 4g. And therefore, g is equal to 14 over 4. Same thing. K is 4k and 49. So 4k and 49. That means k is 49 over 4. They're asking you about g over k. Well, g over k is 14 over 4 times 4 over 49. This cancels that. And this will be 2 over 7. And that's the right answer. Now check it with Desmos. How do you check it with Desmos? Remember, g over k is equal to 2 over 7. So we're going to input the function in it and make this equation look the same. We're going to make it look the same as the other one, and then we plot it. Two functions with the constant in it. And then just use them as your constant and see if they work. 5 over 7, I have y is equal to 2 over 7. And then g of x plus k y is equal to 5 over 2. Now you got to pick slider, 2 sliders, right? But k is equal to 1. We know k is 49 over 4. And then we know g is 14 over 4. And the equation is gone, as you can see. If I take this off, you see the red, but I've put the blue and back. They interpose from each other. That means my equation is right. So the functions that I found is right. Otherwise, if you need to find them from the beginning, it will be not easy. Look at it, 12.25. How are you going to do that? You're going to use the slider back and forth. This is the easy way to solve this question. If you have another way, just put in the comments and let me know which way you can do it quickly. But this is the way I think is best. Right? They give you a table, but look at the table. They put S. You don't know. There's unknown. They say the table shows 3 values of X with the corresponding Y, where S is a constant. Well, we don't know. We can put in a number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the easy way to do it. There's a linear relationship between them, X, Y. Which of the following equation represent the relationship? This is the way I want you to approach it. If you have another way, that's fine. Let me know, put in the comment. But I want you to put the value, whatever they've given you, just put it as it is. And then we're going to use a certain strategy to calculate it. We don't know. Desmos will say, I don't know what S is, right? And I'll put it in X. It's a constant. It can be anything you want. And now I will tell Desmos, well, X, make S is equal to 1. If S is equal to 1, now he can plot it for me. He plot the function, boom. And this is what he gave me. We don't know if it's true, right? We don't know. But I'm going to take each equation and I'm going to see if he line up with that. So let's see. Now we know what S is S, right? We just pick one. So if I say x plus 3y is equal to 18, and S as in Sam, it does not. And then you say, okay, I'm going to change this to 3. I'm going to take this to X as in Sam, and I'm going to make this like that. It line up really well. So that's B. And therefore, B is our right answer. But this is the easy way to solve the equation. System tests your knowledge about system of equation and then quadratic equation. They've given you this function. They're trying to throw you up with the constant K. They said the system of equation K is constant. The system is exactly one distinctive resolution. What is the value of K? Well, if they have exactly one solution, that means they're going to intersect at one point, right? A line and then quadratic. Either they go to the vertex or it's a slant on the side. But what you can do, we'll do algebra and Desmos. I'll show you the Desmos. First, then input the equation in Desmos. Plus K is equal to S plus 26. And then Y minus K S squared minus 5X. Then pick a slider, right? If you pick a slider, all you need to do, let them intersect at one point. Pick a certain number, like maybe 10. That will give you an idea that we got to go higher. I pick 15. That means 16, right? Make sure you pan it out. You say, oh, 16 is too big. 18 is too big. I pick 16 is too small. 17, maybe 18, and therefore 17 point something, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 17.5 probably is the best. Let's try 17.6. I'm overweight. Therefore, 17.5 is our right answer. That's K. How can you solve it with algebra? But the algebra requires some Desmos, right? What you do, you can add two equations because this is plus and negative. You get 2y. You're going to get S squared. This is going to be X plus this. This is going to be 4X. And then plus 26. Now, I'm going to plot this in Desmos. I'm not going to do anything. Just put the function in it. You see what it's going to do. Just equate, plot it. I get 2y is equal to S squared minus 4x plus 26. So you plot this quadratic equation for me right there. Now, take the linear function and put it in. Y plus K is equal to X plus 26. And then pick the slider, same thing. And you can see, you go back, you do the same thing. And then let's put our 17.5 and boom, it matches to exactly what we got. So we just reduce the question, the quadratic in this form, and we're able to get it. But this is the same thing. You can try any way you want, but this is the easy way to solve the function, as usual. Trying to master this concept in the easy way. Number 17, the function f is defined by that. What is the value of f of 4? If you put this in Desmos, I don't know, come on. F of 4, if I put 4 here, this is 10. Half times 10 is 5, right? I don't think you need Desmos for that. You yourself know, right? Straightforward. And 8 is a trap. Why? If you're taking the SAT and you get into the end of Model 2, watch it. The question may be easy, but there's something there they're trying to test. They give you a rectangular bundle, right? And they say it's 2666. That's the area. They're giving you the length. You can't do anything anymore. Use the length. And they say what? 24, the length is 24 inches longer than the width. That means x minus 24 is the width. You can't do it the other way, otherwise you're going to get it wrong. Which equation represents that? Therefore, x times x minus 24 should be equal to the 2661. And so this will be x squared minus 24x minus 2661 is your right answer. And this is right. If you do it the other way, you're going to go wrong. Watch it. They've given you the length, so use the length. You can't pick another length. Cone as this volume, and the area of the base of the cone as this. What is the slant height? If you draw the cone like that, the area here is a circle, so pi r squared, which is equal to 5929 pi. The volume is a formula in your system that you can check, 1/3 pi r squared times h. You need the radius, and then you need a height to find the slant. They want you to find the slant height, this one. So we got to calculate the height, we got to calculate the radius, and then we can find this slant height. How do you find the radius? Well, this cancels this. The radius is basically square root of 5929. And then that should give you 77. So that's the radius. Now you can put it here to find the height. We know the volume. The volume is what? 7. How do you find the height? We're going to use the volume. 71148 pi is equal to 1/3 pi times the radius square, which is 77 square, right? Times the height. That's all. The pi will cancel that. And this times 3 divided by 77, if you do the math, you're going to get height to be 36. Now, what do? You just have to use, we have height 36, and then we have radius 77. And so based on a Pythagoras theorem, the slant height is actually, slant height, which is x, is square root of 77 square plus 36 square. And this should give you a very reasonable value of 85. If you calculate it, it's going to give you 85. So that's the slant height. You're just doing a bunch of algebra to get the right answer. This is Desmos proof, okay? So that's that function. You get into the end of model 2, be careful. There's a bunch of traps. They give you 2 systems of equation, this. And they say for each real number r, which of the following points lay on the equation? Well, look at the answer choice, a bunch of r constants. But if you look at the equation they've given you, 7 plus 6y plus 5 is the same as this. If you divide this by 4, this is going to give you 7x plus 6y plus 5. That means there's only one equation. This is the only equation. So I'm going to plot this. This is how you answer questions strategically. 7x plus 6y and 5. I don't have to worry about any other equation, right? Just one, because if I plot this, it will superimpose on itself. Let me show you. 28x plus 24y is equal to 20. You see, you don't see it. Therefore, I don't need those two. I only need one. Now, we're going to input each one of these functions in it. I don't know what it is, but I will say, what is this point? Plot this point for me. R is equal to minus 67 R. Then I'll pick a slider plus 5, 7. And I'll see where's the point. It doesn't know it, but I'm going to say just make R is equal to 1 because it's a constant. And I'm going to label it. It's right there, right here. So it's not part of it. I'm going to change the function. Second one is what? R, 7R over 5. They just want to waste your time. This is what they did. Plus 5 over 6. This is also not on the graph. It's green over there, right? The third one is R over 4 and then plus 5 minus r over 4 plus 20. And where is this graph? It's still not over there. It's all over here. Make sure you pan in and make sure. Therefore, by default, the right answer is D. And let's check it out. Minus 6r over 7 plus 5 over 7. This is r. And you can see if you pan it, it's right on it, right here like that. And so that's your right answer. Be careful of this one, very close, but this is your right answer. It's right on the graph, right on the graph. So that's the right answer. You can also substitute x is equal to r and then solve it and then use the same technique. But you can just put them directly into Desmos and you get this right answer over here like that. But this is the easy way, I think, is you can apply algebra and Desmos to solve this question. Complicated. 21 is another trap. Be careful. The cost of renting a carpet is 52 the first day. So first day, you're going to pay $52. Then additional day, that's the second day, you're going to pay $26 in addition to what you already pay. Which of the following give the function C in dollars of renting a carpet? And then D is a positive integer. I can show you the easy way. There's two ways to do it. You can say, well, the initial amount you're going to pay is what? You're going to pay $52 plus 26 additional, but additional day is D minus 1. And then you solve it. So 52 plus 26, D number of days minus 1 because you already paid the 52. And this is the setup, and then you can solve it. The other way to do it is Desmos. So when you solve this question, I don't think Desmos is more beneficial. It's the same thing. You have to learn how to set it up. To use Desmos, you got to use table. You can say the first day you pay $52. The second day you're going to pay 52 plus what? 26. That's the thing. And that will be 78. If you can't see that picture, that will be 78. And then you plot it. So you get 26 plus 26. If you solve this, you're going to 26x plus 26. And that's the right answer. A is the right answer. I know a lot of people will get trapped and they will pick, they will do D, C, and B is the wrong answer if you don't set it up well. If you do 1 minus D, and they know how to trap you. And so this is the easy way to do it. First, know the initial, which is 52. Then the next day is D, the number of days minus 1 additional day, and then multiply by 26. And that's all. And the last question is just a dimensional analysis, I usually call it. You just have to set it well. They gave you the speed of a vehicle is increasing at this rate. So the speed is 3 meters, right, per second. So the second square. What is the rate in mile per minute? So the seconds is 60 seconds over 1 minute. Then you got to square all this to get your second square. And they've given you conversion of the meters, which is what? 1 mile over 1609 meters. And so meters cancel meters, the second cancels second, but you got to multiply 60 by 60. So the answer choice should be, let's use Desmos. We have 7.3 times 60 square, and therefore 26,280 divided by our 609. And I give you 16.3, and that's B. This is the end of it. If you learned something, thank you very much for sticking around. If you subscribe for more content like that, if there's a question that was bothering you, just put a comment and let me know. And then share this video with your friends. And good luck in your exams. You see how I answer the questions? It's a strategy. Don't overthink it. Take care of yourself.